Okay, here's an unpopular take on healthcare in America. As far as emergencies, I think America has the best healthcare in the world. You break a leg, get shot, we've got the best. You're gonna get taken care of, and we're phenomenal at it. But as far as like maintaining health, being healthy, there's no way. All of those places, all these schools are funded by pharmaceutical companies, and insurance companies and these hospitals can charge what they want now. It's a scam. It's a complete scam. Perfect example. My wife and I, when we were having our twins, my wife went in for her checkup. I got a call. Hey, your wife might be going into labor. Got to get in. So I come in, and they were worried about the health of one of the twins. So as Jen started kind of getting monitored and everything, they said, hey, we want to transfer you from the hospital you're at now to the one that is more equipped to handle twins, which was still in the Springs. They said, we're going to call for an ambulance to transfer you. No problem. Now, keep in mind, at this time, we had like a MediShare account where it was not like healthcare, but it's like a shared thing where you get your bills, you submit it, and then they get paid. It's amazing. Now, we got told at that time there are no ambulances available. So, no ambulances available, but they were worried about Jen's health and everything and the babies. Now, keep in mind, by this time, Jen had stabilized. The baby had stabilized. We're good. They were still on this wanting to transfer to the other hospital. So they said, because there's no ambulances available, we're getting the helicopter. We thought, the helicopter? My gosh. Okay, well then one of the staff members there told us, hey, no worries. Typically, if they do this where there's no ambulances available, the hospital will cover that stuff. So we thought, okay. Well, lo and behold, it was a 5-minute helicopter flight that Jen took to go to the other hospital. Babies are born, everything's great. Well, a couple months later, we get a bill in the mail for $45,000. 45 grand. Now, we didn't want to submit that bill to other people to have to pay it because it's a community-based thing. So we pushed back on it. Come to find out, we have no leg to stand on. We go back to the hospital, the helicopter company, they go, hey, it's not our problem. We just come when the hospital calls us. We call the hospital, hey, sorry, we felt like we needed it. You're stuck with it. Nothing we can do. We fought it for 2 years. Even started an investigation with the hospital. Even got documentation from the hospital proving that there were no ambulances available and that we were kind of backed in, not knowing what it cost, not knowing anything. Even then, when it was submitted to the helicopter company, they tried giving us a discounted price. We're like, we're still not going to pay that. And by then, the time to submit the bill had gone past. So now we're screwed. Now we fought this thing. So now this thing is stuck to us. We cannot get rid of it. It ended up going to collections. Now that's on a record. Now what's amazing is that people will hear that story. Here's where the unpopular take comes in. People will hear that story, and it's like a bully. So imagine at school, a bully picks on a young kid, and the young kid comes and tells the teacher. So what the teacher does is, rather than confront the bully, she will confront the child that was picked on. The teacher, he or she will confront the child that was picked on, because subconsciously it's easier. They're not going to get pushback. They're not going to get a rising up from the bullied kid. So they'll come to that kid and say, you should have done this, or you should have avoided that bully, you should have this, rather than actually go for the bully. Now, in this case, the bully is the healthcare industry. It's the insurance companies, it's the hospitals. They're able to push and pull and charge what they want. And the teacher in this case is the American public. So, and we are the kid getting picked on, or any person out there is the kid getting picked on. So now, you're going to have people hear this story and go, rather than go after the bully, which is the healthcare industry and the hospitals who can charge insane prices. We've all been in, we've all gone to a hospital and you get a $500 Band-Aid, or you get some crazy cost that you got hit with, bankrupting people. So now you have people who are still gonna hear that story and be like, well, you should have known. Oh, you should have had regular insurance. Do you know how expensive regular insurance is to still not have bills covered? And so you're gonna get that people defending the system rather than these companies that can gouge people, take advantage, and charge whatever they want. It's completely evil, and it drives me crazy. And that no matter what you do, people will still defend that. Now, then comes the argument of, should America have, free healthcare? That's the thing. And you got one side, I'm conservative, so we're going to say, no, America should not have free healthcare. You're going to have other sides say, yep, we should have free healthcare. Well, no one wants to address the real issue in the room, which is the insurance companies and the hospitals and these people that can charge crazy amounts of money, and no one is there to check them. Now, I love America for our checks and our balances. I don't mind having regulatory agencies when those regulatory agencies are non-biased. I 100% do not trust the FDA anymore because I've seen what happens with OxyContin and all of these messes of these companies and these executives getting out and suddenly being offered positions at these pharmaceutical companies. How is that even legal? Like, how is that possible that you can pass these drugs and these things through and then go work for those companies? I don't understand this. So the system is broken in America for the checks and the balances. So whether we have free healthcare or not, none of it's going to happen until someone has the balls to stand up and go after these people who are charging crazy amounts of money and who are able to do it without any repercussions. How a person can get, the fact that a person can go in and deliver a baby or have a baby and be stuck with a bill that could really wreck them, or someone could get a disease or something could happen and bankrupt them, it's just wrong. And again, people will hear that and completely defend it. They'll be like, well, you should have known. Well, it's better than having it over here, better than a socialist nation. I'm not socialist by any chance. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about what companies are allowed to do and get away with now. And this is coming from someone who is a complete capitalist, who loves America, who loves being able to have profit and make company. But there becomes a time where it becomes ridiculous and no one is going to step up. And the reason why no one steps up is because these politicians are all bought and paid for. They're compromised before they even get into office. So there's no way that they're going to stand up to these companies because they're the bully and they don't want the repercussions coming back on them or anyone. And it drives me nuts. My father had done well for himself, and we had to cash out so much of his money at the end of the inheritance to pay for his medical bills because he was in the hospital for like 3 weeks from having a stroke, and ended up costing $250,000. Like, again, you'll have people be like, well, he wouldn't have gotten that care in Saudi Arabia. You're going to have someone defending it. I understand the argument if you're using equipment and technology and the cost of those. But we all know, I know there's hospitals and what they make for C-sections. I know what doctors make to have their 90% of their patients vaccinated in these kickbacks. There's an entire broken system, and no one wants to address the bully. And it drives me freaking insane. Not only has it touched me, I know plenty of people it's touched. So now we're fighting this freaking $45,000 bill. And I can't wait. People defend it. All this BS. We didn't need the helicopter. We were uneducated, didn't know. And it's broken. Someone needs to fix it. Someone needs to stand up. And we can have those conversations about what's going to be available to people in this nation. I'm for the place of the government is here to provide safety and justice for people, and that's about it. So we can have those other conversations, but the bully needs to be addressed of how much these companies can charge. That's my take.